In the late 1990s, high school track phenom Casey Combest was a name on everyone's lips. He wasn't just another fast kid from a small town. He was a sprinting prodigy. Hailing from Owensboro, Kentucky, Combest had a speed that seemed unreal, even by the elite standards of high school athletics. At just 18 years old, he was poised to become the next big American track and field and potential Olympic superstar. But just as quickly as he burst onto the scene, Casey Combest disappeared, leaving behind a legacy shrouded in talent, controversy, and a tragic what-if story that still haunts the sport. In 1999, Combest set the high school track and field world on fire. A white sprinter dominating the 100 and 60-meter dashes was rare enough, but his times were unheard of for his age. That year, he clocked an outstanding 6:57 in the 60-meter dash, shattering the U.S. high school national record in the 60. Then Combest also ran an unbelievable 10:34 in the 100. At the time, it was a time that could easily rival collegiate and professional athletes. As a white sprinter in a sport long dominated by black athletes, he was a unique phenomenon, and his talent appeared boundless. By his senior year, Combest had offers to go pro. Nike and other major shoe brands were ready to invest, and he was widely believed to be on the fast track to the Olympics. There was even talk about him being the next Carl Lewis, a potential superstar who could dominate the sport for years to come. His raw talent had track experts and media alike buzzing about the potential for greatness. At the time, the United States was hungry for a new sprinting icon, and Combest seemed like the perfect fit. He was hailed as the future American track star, and people had whispered about the possibility of him competing for gold at the 2000 Olympics in Sydney. However, the high school sprint sensation carried more than just speed. Behind the scenes, Combest was battling demons that would eventually derail his meteoric rise. The pressure of being the fastest high school sprinter in the nation weighed heavily on his shoulders, and he wasn't immune to the struggles that often came with fame at a young age. The expectations, the media attention, the pressure to perform on a national and even global stage, it all began to take its toll. Combest's personal life was also troubled. Family issues, financial struggles, and an overwhelming scene of isolation started to cloud his bright future. He had coaches and recruiters coming after him from every direction, but his support system seemed fragile at best. The fame and expectations, rather than driving him towards success, became a heavy burden that a few young athletes could bear. To add on to this pressure, Combest faced a tragedy that will forever change his outlook on track and field. His close friend and relay teammate passed away in a tragic accident, leaving Combest devastated. The young sprinter found himself grappling with grief, fame, and a growing list of challenges that were pulling him away from one thing that he's known for: running. In 2000, just a year after breaking records and dazzling the world with his lightning speed, Combest vanished from the track. He declined a scholarship offer from the University of South Carolina, which shocked everyone who had followed his career. The Olympic dreams, the professional track career, it all came crashing down. Combest later admitted that the pressure combined with personal struggles and the tragedy of losing his friend had pushed him towards the downward spiral. He turned to partying and substance abuse as a way to cope with the overwhelming expectations and grief. The young man who had once been hailed as the future of American sprinting became a ghost, disappeared from the spotlight as quickly as he has entered it. Rumors swirled about why he had walked away from the sport. Some said he couldn't handle the pressure. Others claimed that he was blacklisted by coaches who saw him as unreliable. But the truth was far more personal. Casey Combest was dealing with a battle that had nothing to do with track. It was a fight for his mental and emotional well-being. In 2004, Combest attempted to stage a comeback. After several years of battling his inner demons, he had made headlines once again when he announced his return to competitive track. Fans who remembered his high school glory days hoped this would be a redemption story they've been waiting for. Incredibly, after years of being away from the sport, Combest was still fast. In his first race back, he ran a 6:68 60-meter dash, a remarkable time for someone who had been away from track for so long. It seemed that the magic wasn't completely gone, and that maybe, just maybe, the fallen star could rise again. But the comeback was short-lived. Although he had flashes of his former brilliance, the years of partying, personal loss, and a mental toll had taken too much for him. The dream of reaching the Olympics was over. Combest quietly faded into obscurity once again, this time for good. Today, Casey Combest is remembered as one of the greatest high school sprinters to ever lace up a pair of spikes. But his story is one filled with an unfulfilled promise. His brief meteoric rise and subsequent disappearance, and a cautionary tale about the pressure of young athletes face, the challenges of fame, and the sometimes insurmountable burden of expectations. Casey Combest could have been a household name, competing with the likes of Maurice Green, Justin Gatlin, and Usain Bolt. Instead, his story serves as a reminder that talent alone isn't always enough to secure greatness. Mental health, personal struggles, and strong support systems are equally important for young athletes. Fast forward to today, and the name Combest is back in the headlines. This time because of Casey's son, King Combest. King is a dual sport athlete dominating both football and track and field. With his fathers coaching him every step of the way, King has emerged as one of the most talked about prospects in the nation. Mirrors his father's legendary sprints, but unlike Casey, King has an advantage: his father's hard-earned wisdom. King's football talent has caught the attention of Division I programs, with several top-tier universities offering him full scholarships. His track career is equally impressive. Some experts believe that he could become one of those top sprinters in the nation, if not the world. But while King thrives in the spotlight, it's Casey who now stands in the background, a dedicated coach who has learned from his own missteps and determined to guide his son to a brighter future. In an interview, Casey reflected on his own journey. He said, "I had the world at my feet, and I tripped over it. But I see the fire in King. He's got that same speed, but more importantly, he got a clear head. My job is to make sure that he never get lost and never loses sight of who he is on and off the track." While Casey never achieved the Olympic glory many predicted for him, his legacy lives on the track and field community as a story of raw talent, lost potential, and a crushing weight of expectations that can come with the being of a high school legend. For those who watched him run while he was in his prime, Casey Combest will always be remembered as the one who got away, the sprinting sensation who could have been one of the greatest.